Peace be upon you. I'm Khalid Taib, and this is Qur'anomics, part 14 from the Islam of the Quran to the Islam of the Hadith. Imam Al-Shafi'i, the true founder of traditional Sunni Islam religion. Title Al-Shafi'i authorizes interpreters to abrogate. And so it turns out the two precise verses whose meaning is identical with their utterance into similar verses whose interpretation is not known from their text, but rather require intervention from outside this text in order to pronounce them connotation opposite to their utterance, to turn in a violent clash with the wording of the statement and the content of the statement from two verses that expressly stipulate the necessity of the commandment into two verses relating to an implicit meaning on the validity of the will. Perhaps the matter would be easy if Al-Shafi'i had referred the matter to the Sunnah of the Messenger, truly and honestly. But the surprising wonder is that he refers it to the people of knowledge in the Maghazi. Maghazi are storytellers and riddlers, and they are among the weakest of God's creation in stability, in the principles of jurisprudence and interpretation, according to the description of the Imams of jurisprudence and interpretation, who held contempt for the people of stories and riddles. So, just when you think Al Shafi could not stoop any lower, he does. He surprises you. Because after all the requirements and the conditions of the single narrator, then he accept was suspicious. Now he's stooping even lower than that, even with the the belief of the present day scholars then that they are still the weakest of the weak, the lowest of the low. And no, they're just storytellers and riddlers. And then still, he takes their word. That's why Shafi'i says, we found the people of fatwa and those from who we preserved from the people of knowledge of battles, aka Maghazi, from Quraysh and others. They do not differ in that the Prophet said, in the year of the conquest, there is no will for an heir. But we always have to notice that's just one sentence. There is no will for heir, but doesn't explain in what condition, how, why, what's the conditions of it. Nothing. Even though, but we look into the Quran, it has everything. It tells you why, the whys and the hows, and how you should go about it in case someone objects. It gives you full detail. But in a Shafi'i, this is just that one sentence. No will. There's no will for an heir. And simple as that. No explanation. And they prefer it to those from whom they memorized, from those who met the people of knowledge in battles. The people of battles, the people who met the prophet. That's what he meant. So it was transmitted amongst the people, and it was stronger in some matter than transmitting one from one. And we also found the people of knowledge agreed on it together. He said, some of the Levantines narrated. Levantines are the people of the north of that who lived in Syria and Jordan, all that area. Narrated hadith that is not proven by the people of hadith, that some of its men are unknown. So we narrated from the Prophet as disconnected. We accepted it with what was described of the transmission of the people of Maghazi and the consensus of the general public on it. And from us, we mentioned the hadith about it, and we relied on the hadith of the people of Maghazi in general and the consensus of the people. So we inferred what you described from the transmission of the general people of Maghazi on the authority of the Prophet, that there is no will for inheritance, there's no will for an heir, that the inheritance supersedes the will for the parents and the wife, with the news that the hadith that is cut off from the Prophet and the unanimous consensus on saying it. This is page 139 to 142. So Al-Shafi'i refers and relies on the people of maghazi, people of storytellers. Not only that they have to be scholars and knowledgeable about the religion, as he previously had stated, but now they could just be anybody. Not only just what requirements of one, but now anybody. You could be a storyteller, and he could just tie it up like loose ends. Just tie it up. Oh, they heard it. They heard it from. Since they've been telling stories of battles, then they must heard stories of the companions of the people that went with the prophet, and he heard it from them, who heard it from the prophet, and he ties it up in a magical way. He ties it up in a magical way, and that's how he is. So we're on to part 15, and I'm Qadi Tayyib. We'll find out later. I'm Qadi Tayyib. This is Quranomic. We'll see you again. Thank you for watching.